Okay, this video is to help anyone who doesn't know how to do this. Just going through it my first time. But to remove your transmission T90 from a 134 4-cylinder Willys, I've already gone ahead and removed the transfer case. And to remove the transmission, I did all the bolts that bolted up to the bell housing up to the block. And now I'm taking off these bolts. This is the one some people will forget, especially a beginner like me. There's bolts on your flywheel. Here, I'll pull it out. Well, this socket is on one right now, and they're going to be, I'll tell you how many at the end of the video, but you're going to need a swivel and 1/2-inch socket. I'm using like an 1.5 or 2-inch long one right now, but a short one will work. The longer the worse. The shorter you're better off. And what you're gonna have to do is rotate it, rotate the flywheel either with your starter. Don't have your drill in there obviously, but either that, a drill maybe, or a flathead screwdriver. And let's see if I can see, but right there, there's the flywheel bolt that you need to get off. Well, there's one. So if you keep spinning those and you keep spinning this and there's more holes filled, that means there's more bolts to be taken out. I ended up needing to grab the short 1/2-inch socket. I've got a 3-inch extension in the swivel in there. It's nice to have a light on your drill so you can see what you're looking at. And I just took the first one out. See how it's, and to spin it, since I don't have my starter right here, I don't really want to spin it that fast anyway, I am going to use the main crank bolt to spin it. Okay, back here. By the way, this is way easier to do with 2 people, whether it's your kid or your wife or whatever helping you spin the crank while you're doing it. I'm just doing it by myself, so by the way, I realized there's an actual size for that, but I didn't have it right now, and I'm not using this engine anyway. If I were to, I would use another nut eventually, rebuild it. So, but I'm just using a set of channel locks. If your engine does not spin freely, you got bigger problems. So, I don't know what to tell you there, but if your engine does spin, that makes it a lot easier. And if you could have somebody either with a socket, it's bigger than 1 1/6. I think it's 1 1/4 or 1 3/16, maybe 1 1/8, but I've got 1 1/16 only right now, and it's bigger than that. So just taking them out one at a time, and yeah, get back. Another thing, I want to go putting an impact wrench, especially anything with real torque, on your crank bolt up front. Just because you could break a crank, and just don't go do that. Just a second ago, the old DeWalt wouldn't do it, wouldn't spin my bolt, so I had to just put the whole setup on the Craftsman wrench, and that way I could give it a little bit more torque. Everything worked out. I've got 4 out so far. I'll try to see if I can get one on video for you to see. I'll see. Try not to drop it. There you go. Okay, so that one is out. It's pretty simple. Okay, all the bolts are out. This may or may not be way easier or way harder on your vehicle, depending on if 99% of the truck is off or not. But the way to get this clutch pedal to work for you or come off is you push it in. There might be a nut at the end here. You're gonna have to take off first. You're gonna push it up, hold this back, and then you're good. Here are your 2 bolts, bolting your transmission in. You can either choose to drop it the way it is with the cradle, or I'm going to try right now to back this off. Okay, so what you're about to see was a pretty good experience. You're going to want to make sure you either hoist up your engine or something like that, because I have spun the engine pulling this transmission out. I probably didn't damage anything yet, but the engine's just spun on its 2 points of mounting, and yeah, so now it's kind of sitting on the ground like so. I'm going to pull the transmission out, and then this is just getting parted out right now. So anyway, and that concludes the factory way to remove a T90 transmission from a truck. Yeah, I suggest probably pulling out if your cab is still there, try to pull out the cradle and all. But as you saw, that's how you remove your bolts and remove your clutch there. Another way you might be able to do it is there's a window here, in my version of the T90 at least. I just found it easier to go through this access hole. Really a preference thing. So now I'm going to figure out what I want to do here. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll have another video on how I removed this Spicer Dana 18. Alright, bye.